playing in 3/4 here, right? So I had my metronome set to 3/4. So a couple things. We don't have a whole lot of dynamics going on. We don't have a whole lot of articulation. So this is a perfect time where we can interpret the lines of this music and put in some extra articulations where we feel necessary. So in the beginning here, we have mezzo forte, right? Medium volume, don't need to stress out about it. So the biggest thing is getting this pickup in the right place and time, right? So the way we would count this off is 1, 2, ba-da-da, 1, 2, ba-da-da-da-da, right? So we got to make sure to play those 8th notes on the 3rd beat. Okay, and then here we just have simple tonguing. Also, one thing I gotta mention is this originally is a duet. So I am not playing the bottom line here, and I'm not playing the bottom line here. I'm only playing the first 2 top lines, right? Okay. So the first thing that we've got to absolutely get are these articulations here. Ba da da da. Right? And then when I was playing this, it has a breath mark right here, except I didn't need to take a breath, so I went ahead and left it out. And that's okay. If you don't need to take a breath, then you don't have to create an extra space for yourself. If you do have to breathe, very important that you follow that breath mark. But for me, I didn't need to breathe, so I just skipped it. And again, here we have a repeat sign right here. And you might wonder, hey, wait, where does it go? Because I don't see another repeat sign. Well, if it's referring to the beginning of the piece, then it won't put a repeat sign in the very beginning. It'll just put it at the end, right? So here it's implied that you'll go back to the beginning and play it again, which is what I did. Okay, and so for here, I like to make it a little bit interesting. I had a descending line, so I put a little bit of a decrescendo there because I kind of wanted to complement the contour of the line. And then here, I just crescendoed just a tad to bring it up. And then on these long notes, vibrato, very important for classical saxophonists to practice vibrato. Right? Gives us a chance to shimmer and be really pretty. But details on vibrato are for another video. Okay, so as we get to the second line, okay, what changes? We're in piano now, right? So we got to be a dynamic softer. So it's important that we start the piece with enough volume to give us room to come back down when we need to. So you don't want to start the beginning of the piece piano because then you're not gonna have much room to move and create that effect of differing dynamics. So we start the second line the same way we started the third line, right? We have this pickup. So 1, 2, ba-da-da-da-da, same thing again. So it's really similar. The only thing that's radically different is this rhythm here. We've got a dotted quarter note followed by an 8th note followed by a quarter note. So the rhythm right? We got to make sure to count that right. So dotted quarter, we're 3/8 notes, right? We don't want to miss that. And then we had some breath marks here, which I did take. And then we had this slur marking right here, which you don't want to pass over. So again, whenever we have a piece like this where it seems very sparing, but the things that are there matter a lot. So you don't want to skip over them. If I have this music in my hands, I would be writing on it just like I am now, right? Because there's a lot of subtleties that's easy to skip over. All right, so saxophonists out there, give this a shot because I think that you all can handle this and challenge yourself to pay attention to the detail that I outlined here. All right, y'all. Thanks so much.